welcome to this non-spoiler review for Inside Out 2, the sequel to the 2018 original that is one of my favorite Pixar films, and certainly I'm sure some of you watching it's one of your favorite Pixar films as well. This is a fantastic and interesting exploration of Riley as she transitions into her young teenage years and all the emotions that come up inside of her. Before I dive into the non-spoiler review though, I want to remind you all to please subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button so you see we're dropping all the content we do. And if you want to support all we got going on here on the channel, head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/John Rocha. All right, this film sees the return of 3 of the original voices here, with Amy Poehler coming back as Joy, Phyllis Smith coming back as Sadness, and Louis Black coming back as Anger. But replacing Mindy Kaling, as discussed, is Liza Lapira, and replacing Bill Hader as Fear here is Tony Hale. And I think they have some nice chemistry with the original 3 actors here, but they are confronted by 4 new emotions here as Riley is experiencing this time in her life where she is moving past her friends from her past, which we discover at the beginning of the film here with Bree and Grace, and moving into a new section of her life at a hockey camp where she is connecting with this girl that she has an idolization crush on named Valentina, that's voiced by Lily Marr. And we see her dealing with all these emotions that come out in her, and the new emotions that come out in her are led by Maya Hawke as anxiety. We also have Ayo Edibiri in here as envy. We have Adele Exarchopoulos as ennui, and Paul Walter Hauser as embarrassment. So the majority of the film is the old group of emotions battling with the new group of emotions to construct the new character that Riley is going to be as she transitions into this life. Basically, puberty is what's going on here. And you're seeing all the emotions that come with that. And certainly those of us who've experienced it or have had kids who've experienced it and been there to witness it, I think you're going to find a lot of connections to some of the emotions and scenes and back and forth that you see in the movie. And yes, we occasionally go into the dad and mom's head and see their emotions. Kyle MacLachlan and Diane Lane coming back to reprise their roles in the movie, having some fun with those emotions as well. I think it's a fantastic film that really honestly explores what it's like to transition in our lives from middle school going into high school. And you know, high school is a whole nother animal. A lot of us are still damaged from the experiences of high school because high school can be great. It can also be incredibly cruel. And you see Riley dealing with all of that as it's coming up for her. How to be cool, how to be accepted, how to be wanted, how to deal with these friends who are maybe not going to be part of her life anymore. These are all things that come up in her mind, and how she deals with her parents. And then at the camp, how she deals with being accepted onto a hockey team. And that all sparks these sets of emotions, essentially having a civil war inside of Riley. And I think it's done so well here. Shout out to Kelsey Mann, who directed this and co-wrote this with Meg LaFauve and Dave Holstein. I think they really nail a lot of the emotions and a lot of the experiences that people have transitioning from middle school into high school and all those pressures that come with that. And the last half hour of the movie really dives into the mental health aspect of this all. This is one of the most fantastic portrayals of mental health that I've ever seen, and the way you can experience that in panic attack. And especially it's happening now. We see the numbers going up as panic attack, anxiety attacks. These things are happening more and more in younger and younger people as they deal with the transitions in their lives into different places, different areas or different ages of their life, and all the pressures that come with it. Life is like a video game, and every stage is a new villain, a new antagonist. How do you overcome all of that? And that certainly comes through here in the movie. I think the animation is fantastic as well. It's really beautiful and glowing and bright and vibrant and reflective of both the old emotions and the new emotions and the different lands that we go to, different places. Certainly as a sequel, you know, you want to expand the universe, and certainly having more emotions expands the universe, but we also see more inside of Riley's head and all the different sections of Riley's head and the changes that are happening in Riley's head that joy and sadness and anger and fear and disgust have to go and experience and go through and see that is going on with Riley. And the way this thing ends, I'm not going to ruin it obviously, but the way this ends, I think is so well done and organically makes sense. And it's going to leave you very emotional. I certainly cried in a couple of spots. It's going to leave you with a lot to think about afterwards as well, especially those of us who've dealt with mental health issues, panic attacks or anxiety attacks, and how that can sometimes overcome our lives. I certainly had one earlier this week that really set me for a loop for an hour or two. So these are the things that happen in your life sometimes, and seeing them portrayed so realistically and so well with fantastic animation, really great script with some great dialogue. There's a beautiful moment between joy and anxiety that I think a lot of you are going to be affected by as well in the movie. So there's so much here to really enjoy. And this is Pixar going back to like the old school successful Pixar. There's been some mixed reactions to a lot of the Pixar movies lately, although I don't think I've not liked any of them, but this one's really going back to the old school best of them. And I think everybody involved in the production deserves an incredible amount of credit for this movie. There are a couple of things that I'm like, they could have, I don't understand why they did this or why they didn't play up a little bit more of the Grace and Bree and Riley interactions. I wish I'd seen a little bit more of that. And I don't want to leave this review without giving a lot of credit to Kensington Talman, who voices Riley, because she has a lot more to do in this movie than she did in the first one. And they really focus on all the emotions that she's going through and how they're coming through on her face, but also how she's saying certain lines of dialogue with those emotions laid in there and the multiple emotions that are laid in there. And I thought she did a wonderful job voicing it over as well. So I highly, highly recommend this one. Go and see it this weekend. I give this thing 4.5 cowboy hats out of 5 cowboy hats. Just one of the best Pixar films I've seen in a very long time. This one belongs up there in the top 10 of Pixar films, in my opinion. We'll see what you think. And let me know down in the comments section below if you liked it or didn't like it, what you thought about the film, and what really stood out to you, what didn't work for you, and what touched you and moved you, and what maybe made you cry or made you emotional like it got me. For sure, let me know down in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching this non-spoiler review. Please make sure to hit a like on this video, share it on your social media, and more than anything else, please subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button. All right, take care of yourselves, be well, and I'll talk to you next time with another brand new non-spoiler review here on the Outlaw Nation.